And today is one of my favorite days because we're going to share with you the 7 key pillars of what I call awesome, healthy, high performance. And the awesome is a clue. It's a little acronym that I'm going to share with you. And I developed this because, over my years as an expert and moving my way up through the physical ranks and then as an education coach and a nutritional coach and then as an advisor to the American Anti-Cancer Institute and finally to the director of Bioptimizers, I'm dealing with a lot of people from a lot of areas, and they're all coming to me with, some of them had different amounts of money and, different age and backgrounds. And it's like, how do I get this into something that actually works, something that's based on science, something that allows you to know exactly where to put your time, energy, and resources to get maximum benefit? And eventually I came up with this model, and I call it the Awesome Health System. So what it is I'm going to show you this in a diagram, and I want you to burn this diagram into your head, because this is going to arm you with the wisdom, the intelligence, the awareness of when someone's trying to sell you something or whether something is actually of high value. And my goal here is to get you so that you can completely be confident no matter what comes at you at what time in life, that you know exactly what you need to do. And this isn't based on fluff. This is based on science. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw, again, we're going to go back to a little pyramid here. You know me, and I love my pyramids. So we're going to go to the top of the section right here, and there's going to be these 7 pillars. 3, that's 4, then we got 5, and then we've got 6. Now, our little pyramid here, the top of the pyramid starts with A, and then it goes down here like this: W, E, S, O, M, and E. Now, some of you have read my books, you might know this, but if you haven't, we're going to explain this in just a moment. You see, the program for biological optimization, or whether you want to heal yourself or improve your health or, optimize your performance, is based on this here. This is your cell, okay? And inside your cell, you have these little things called mitochondria. Those things burn energy. They actually burn electrons. And you can get those from food, carbohydrates, whatever. But you require electrons to go in, and that allows this thing to produce energy. And what comes out is waste products. Okay? And of course, we hear about toxins, and we'll get into all that later on. But, for a lot of people say, well, what diet's best? Should I be a paleo diet? Should I be a high fat, low fat? Should I be just a fruitarian, a vegan, a pagan, a whatever? It's not about that. You recognize this. I'm going to ask you a question. How long can you go without food? You can go a long time without food. You can go what? Maybe 40 days. Long time. Definitely weeks. Okay? So that can't be the most important. How long can you go without water? Maybe a few days. But how long can you go without oxygen or air? Only a few minutes. So the reality is, at the top of the pyramid, we have air. Okay, and I'll apologize now for my writing. The good news is you don't have to be perfect in penmanship in order to get this. And, this is just me sharing with you to give you the points. Air, deep breathing. The simplest, fastest, easiest way to change your health, change your state of being, change whatever, is through air. The next lesson, we're going to get into some specific practices, but breathing should be the biggest component of your program. And it's so simple, and it doesn't cost anything. That's probably why you don't hear about it. So learning to deep breathe, and we're going to teach you some simple, easy things that allow you to increase your energy by 2 or 3-fold just from breathing. The second principle of the pyramid. So the first thing starts and begins with air. It's the first thing that you do when you get on the planet, the last thing you do before you get off. The next one is going to be water. Okay? So water. H2O, as we heard about it, right? So water is extremely important. The reality is that, according to research scientist William Agger, who developed the whole thing on aquaporins, we'll talk about William in a little bit, is 95% of the population is in a chronic dehydrated state. I mean, think about it. what's the first thing they do to people when they bring them into the hospital? They put them on intravenous to make sure that they get the proper amount of hydration inside the body. Okay, and we're going to go into a big depth explanation about water, but getting air, water figured out, making sure that you're consuming probably somewhere between 3 and 6 liters a day, or 3/4 of a gallon to a gallon and a half of water every single day. Okay, the next thing that we're going to talk about is exercise. This is the next part. And if you look at this, people go, well, exercise, I don't like exercise. I don't have to do exercise. Well, what is exercise? Exercise essentially is the movement against gravity in space. So whether you're running, whether you're walking, whether you're jumping on a trampoline, whether you're lifting weights, whether you're swimming in the water, you're basically moving your body against gravity. And when you move your body against gravity, or you exert your muscles against it, there is a measurable physical response. And what's interesting is if you take somebody and put them in a hospital bed and tie them down or whatever, how quickly do they degenerate? Well, their muscles waste away fast, their organs stop working, all of these things start to shut down relatively quickly. We all know someone who's been to the hospital and just for a small thing, they've lost 20 or 30 pounds. Or maybe you put your arm in a cast and all of a sudden you see all the muscles atrophy. This is because without movement, there's no life. And in fact, life is movement. I mean, vibration is energy in life. So to move and to exercise are two things that are actually the same thing. Exercise, though, gets a bad rap because most people think of it as something that they don't want to do. And we're going to go into a big section on exercise to find the perfect exercise for you based on your lifestyle and your goals. And boy, I've got something that is going to really blow your mind on that. The next level of the pyramid, and these things, no matter what diet practice you're on or what religious belief or how old you are, these things are what I call like the non-negotiables. You got to have air, water, and exercise and get those things into your life. Then we move into what's called sunlight. Now, in sunlight, okay, what I look at is we live in a solar system. In other words, everything that you see, the lights here, the camera, my shirt, my physical body, you're staring into your computer right now, all of this is vibratory frequency, or it's vibration. That's the physics behind it. So you look at the top physicists, they see everything as a form of vibration. And we all know about personalities. Of course, if someone is kind of down and depressed, we think of them as dark or, those kind of energies. And if they're, a happy, energized, they're light and they're bright. So it's actually right into the lexicon of our language, which is pretty interesting. So we're going to show you how you can amplify the light both in your life and inside your body to become a light-hearted person. No pun intended. Anyways, sunlight, we'll get into this. And also, this relates to a lot of things about dietary choices and things that I think you'll find quite fascinating. Next, we get into perhaps my favorite topic, which is optimizers. Now, optimizers, of course, is the foundation of our company. So if we go back to our cell over here, this is, by the way, I didn't label that. This is a cell, okay? And just so you know, you've got about 100 trillion cells inside your body. I mean, one guy says 70 trillion, 70 billion, 70. There's a lot of cells. We're not sure how much there are, but there's a lot of them. Your whole body is made up of these cells that require energy and they do specific functions, okay? So when it comes to what are the things that optimize that in condition, we know that there are very specific things that allow this cell to work properly. And if you don't have them, you start experiencing things like low energy, fatigue, inability to concentrate. Maybe you start getting aches, pains, and ultimately this leads to disease and degeneration. Now, of course, we can't stop people from dying, but we can slow the aging process and in some cases kind of reverse the degeneration of the cell. The quality of these optimizers that maintain the cellular environment determines how well you feel and how much energy that you're able to express. And we're going to go into detail on that in an upcoming lesson. The next part here on our pyramid here is mental beliefs and attitudes, or we can call this your MBA. So we're going to put beliefs and attitudes. Boy, there's so many great books about beliefs and attitudes. And one of my favorite books is The Biology of Belief. Maybe you've been struggling forever. Maybe you feel like you can never get it right, and that's why you're here. This is the last hope. Maybe you've struggled or you've bounced from program to program to program. And what I'm going to share with you is, the research is showing that we have these unconscious beliefs that sometimes hold us back, that kind of sabotage us. And in this program, we're going to share with you and show you how you can uncover these beliefs and some of the technologies out there to just like completely blow them out of your mind, literally. But rest assured, part of the process here is, these 84 steps is getting your mental place and helping you, get the belief level that you can do it. And, based on my research over the thousands and thousands of clients that I've done, I know you can do it. And I'm here for you, and I really want to help you. So if you have questions, of course, always email into the Bioptimizers website, go on our Facebook page or on our blog, and, we'll be happy to address some of those questions or areas that you want to work on. And of course, there's an attitude. I mean, the reality is attitude's everything in life. And you can go through life with a bad attitude. You can do a great attitude, but why not adopt a great attitude? I mean, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have everything right. Life doesn't have to be the story, the Hollywood fable. But what you can do is develop an attitude of gratitude. And by doing this, it starts to change things. And you realize this is the most amazing time to be in the life. The fact that we're connected to this digital media is amazing. The fact that you can learn from the greatest minds throughout history with the click of a button. It's an amazing experience, and let's take advantage of it together. And finally, I call this the etc. or education. And my penmanship here is getting really bad, so I hope you don't hold me, too accountable for that. And then we've got testing, and my favorite, coaching. So in the first lesson, we talked a little bit about testing, about setting up your accountability program, setting up a few tests. A test can be very simple. A test can be anything from, I could walk a mile without getting tired, and now I can walk 5. Or it could be I couldn't get up the stairs, or it could be as much as I could squat 500 pounds, and now I'm squatting 1,000 pounds. It doesn't matter. You can, it could be a live blood cell analysis. We'll talk about that. It could be a hair analysis. There's a variety of different tests that you can use to get to the optimal state of well-being. But rest assured, testing helps you with the first part, and that's education. The root word of education is educe, and that means to learn from within. And to learn from within means that you go through testing. You test yourself in a process of self-discovery. Remember, there's no right or wrong. There's no fail in this program. There is only the production of results and the running it against a test and seeing if that's the result that you want. Now, again, you're going to have to stay with it for a little bit of time. Bear with us on the course, till you get enough results that you can start to see those changes. And finally, coaching. I've been a high-performance health coach for, almost 15 years now, and it's perhaps one of the purest forms of relationship on the planet. And why I say that is because, the goal of the coach and the goal of any great coach is you only want to bring out the best in the person. You're there to help them bring out the things, the latent superpowers within them, to hold them accountable to a higher standard, to find the tools and techniques and tips to allow them to have a full expression of what it is to be a human. And that's what a coach does. And to the degree, the amount of people and how much those people rise determines the quality of the coach. And, I'm really proud of the Bioptimizers team that allow us to coach so many people around the world. And to me, it's one of the greatest gifts in life. And I'm so excited to have you here. So going through this pyramid again. So remember, we're starting at the top. What makes the cell work? Okay. Air, water, exercise, sunlight, optimizers, mental beliefs and attitudes, education, testing, and coaching. And this is what creates a totally super healthy body and also makes, living life just so much more positive. Now, on top of that, there's going to be 3 different stages that you're going to go through. So as you know, we've lit up 84 lessons, and I know I'm putting a lot on you this time, but I really want you to get it. There's going to be 3 stages that you're going to go through, and we're going to cover that in the next lesson. But what I would do is Go out here and draw this out, in your journal. If you're keeping notes, I do recommend that you keep a book where you put down little notes, or if that's important to you, or pictures or whatever it is, and make notes of the things that were important to you or the things that you're challenged with. I want you to particularly look at what things do you feel that you're not doing right now, that you need the most result? Go to our site and put that down. Say, I need help on this, or find the resources. Are you doing a deep breathing exercise? How much water are you drinking a day? Are you doing daily exercise? Do you like exercise, or could you improve in that? How much sunlight do you have in your life? Positivity. Are you getting light exposure? And we'll talk about that one. There's some really great science about the whole sun thing. And then optimizers. Are you doing our program? Are you taking the enzymes, the probiotics, and our packages that we have for you? Finally, we have, what's my beliefs and attitudes? Do I think I can do it, or do I feel that, my attitude could be a little bit better? And finally, am I willing to get educated? Am I willing to test myself and submit myself to the process and take me on as your coach to help you get to that level? I sure hope you do. Run through this program. It's totally awesome, easy to remember, and it also shows where you need to put the time, energy, and resources. So put that down in your journal, and we'll see you on the next lesson.